Okay, so I'm gonna do a recording for Sark as he requested it of the Underworld Ascendant. Um, this is not the first attempt at doing this. There are quite a lot of bugs, lots and lots of krakens, to use a Kerbal Space Program terminology. Um, Basically, it's very easy to get stuck in scenery and glitch out. So it has to be remembered this is a very early pre-alpha, and considering that, it's actually pretty good. I'm very impressed. So the pre-alpha takes the form of a small sub-level, mini-level of a game. Um, the I don't know if this is indicative of what the gameplay will be like. If it is, not not too sure about how that fits in, but it's okay. The idea being that there's an area you've just basically got to use the environment and your skills to get through. So pretty standard fare, but um, the the game of the demo keeps saying that you've got to use your head, you've got to use the skills, you've got to use the environment and stuff together. It it emphasizes it so much that it feels like it's almost like some kind of crafting system where you can like build siege engines and stuff like that to try and get yourself over bridges or like
The Stygian
stuff.
Abyss. To survive, you must be clever, capable, creative.
Clever, creative, capable, creative. So I was expecting it to have a deeper crafting system, but maybe that's just in the main game. Anyway, this is exactly what I imagine the Stygian Abyss to look like, a big open dank cavern basically with bats flying around. And here we are, Tolkien like on the precipice on a path lit only by braziers. It's fantastic. And then compare the cold, the mist down here to this beautiful warmth that we've got
You
in here.
near Mark Hall, nexus of trade and intrigue. The lizard men allow none entry save the able. Prove yourself in the skill shrine. Choose a skill set.
Yeah, I mean, you've just got warmth everywhere now. Um, you've got some lava down here bubbling away. Um, you can hear it, so I think hissing. You've got these lovely vents, volcanic vents, venting those hot steam, and all these gorgeous Turkish lamps. It's beautiful, very colourful. The original Ultima Underworld 1 and 2, I mean, to say I was a fan is a bit of an understatement. I love those games and I've played them many, many times. And when I first saw how colourful this is and the style of the art on the rocks, I mean, take a look at that. I mean, that's quite obvious that the the rock formation is made from a texture um, that's been darkened along lines. Um, and that's a trick that tends to be used in older games and consoles so they can retain low poly, which is unusual because this is not a low poly um, area. I mean, look, there's like, these things have got chunks out of them. There's lots of polygons being thrown around here. So I don't know whether this particular art style is just something that they're going for. It to me, to my mind, it feels a little bit more cartoony um, than I'd have expected from a something that's supposed to be like Underworld and Underworld 2. But given the limited palette of the originals, maybe this is pretty much what it would have looked like if they'd had the technology back then. Lots of rich purples and oranges and reds and greens. But it's growing on me. We'll have to see what the final game looks like. Um, Everything has a sort of plasticky sheen to it. I'm guessing that the artists, when they were putting the levels together, they didn't spend too much time doing proper specularity maps and stuff on a lot of things, so it just looks like I don't know. It looks like someone's opened up a bag of livers and just tipped them over the floor. But I'm guessing they're supposed to be rocks. It's very, very well worn rocks. Okay, so the game starts out telling you that you've got to pick 7 of these things. So the idea of this demo is to kind of show off the crafting and I'm using air quotes, crafting system to build or create solutions, and you do that using abilities, which it gives you here. And when I guess those fail, then you've got to just resort to fighting. So the innate abilities of these hovering things. So the way they've implemented magic in this, it's not the way it would have been in the original Ultimate Underworld, where you have potions. They've decided to do away with that, and now you've got these magical drafts, which just look like, I don't know, vortices in the air that just wind around. It feels very console-y. It feels like a bit of a mistake design-wise. I see what they're trying to do, and certainly looks nice and it's interesting, but it feels like a concession to consoles. So if you take the mage path, you have to be able to see where these streams are, because otherwise you run out of mana too quickly. Stealth sight, which I'm guessing should be like the visibility crystal in Thief 2 and Thief 1, but I don't think it does anything in this pre-alpha demo. Stealth step, so quietness. So this is the thief area. I'm not going to choose that because I've tried the thief options a few times, and I've got to say the lizard guys, are just too aware of the surroundings. So I'm not sure that the stealth options are very well balanced in the demo, but they certainly work. You can sneak around if you're quiet, but the moment that they see you, that's it. It's very difficult to shake them off, although it is possible. This is the fightery area, so you've got your longsword and the ability to parry. This is as far as I can tell, it's just not something that your character will do if you take this ability. It's not something that you initiate. And then we get round to the mobility. So you can jump off walls and you can sprint along walls. So these are the parkour options, which are brilliant, and I'm going to take them for reasons I'll explain shortly. And sprint faster always helps, so I'm going to take that for running away from things. And strong throw. I'm guessing that this allows you, without having to use any kind of magic, to just pick up chunks out of the environment and use them as projectile weapons. And there is a lot of stuff which can be detached, but I'm going to take some of these wands to do some of that work for me, so I won't choose heave. Repulse is the magical version of heave, and it's very useful. Gravitate is a bit like force pull rather than the repulse, which is force push. The only difference with gravitate is that rather than the standard KOTOR type of Force Awakening type of force push, gravitate is a little bit like force pull some of the time, and it's a little bit more like the master building stuff in the Lego Star Wars, where you get to set places within the level, you hit gravitate, and the scenery reconfigures to help you in some way. It just doesn't work for me in the demo. I don't know why. I can't seem to get it to work, so I'm going to leave it, but I'll take prolong, negate time. Okay, so the bow is brilliant for taking things out from a long distance. The only problem with it is that it takes about 3 or 4 arrows to take out each enemy, and you don't have that many arrows. so I'm going to leave that. But this game does have water arrows, which bodes very, very well for some of the stealth options, which is great. Love Thief, love the water arrows, and obviously Warren Spector is on board, so I'm sure there will be a very rich gameplay aspect to help make the thiefier aspects of it much deeper than the demo. And last but not least, we've got the good old if it moves, hit it with a piece of metal. So I'm going to take the sword and take the
Now
ability
go.
to parry.
Complete Ishtar's challenge. Give care. Your survival is not a foregone conclusion.
I do like that guy's voice. I miss Tony J as a voiceover artist. Stephen Russell is brilliant. So I'm liking this guy. Okay, so we came in that way, so off we go this way. Beautiful archways built inside this cavern. Quick guide to how to play. Containers often hold useful items. I've tried doing things like smashing this container. Oh, look, there was a ball. No. Balls. Alright, so these sticky ball things. I guess that's a hint. Fire everywhere. So yeah, these ball things are sticky.
Behold your goal, the silver sapling.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about some of this stuff. I mean, this is gorgeous. This particular part of the level. I mean, obviously it's been designed as a set piece to build the demo around. Silver obviously features a lot in Underworld. Silver Serpent. But yeah, let's have a look around. So this is the main cavern around which the demo is built. This is the central column. If you look down, there are people kind of, the lizard guys are just wandering around. And then over here there's this thing spinning. This is a training thing. This helps you figure out how to do stuff later, along when it's coupled with this. The bulb of the polyp plant becomes sticky when thrown, which we found out in the other room. Okay, so if I take this plant and chuck it, interesting. Ah, brilliant! It's stuck.
You've performed a feat.
Performed a feat. Hurrah! So I've managed to stick the capstan thing on the top of the blade to its base using one of these balls. I've never done that before. That's interesting. Usually I have to use something else, so I stick this. Yeah. Okay. So that was just basically to show me how that works and how these polyp things work. My first attempt at getting to the silver sapling was to use those with crates in the entryway to build a bridge. That did not go well, and I ended up smashing to my doom. Then I tried just parkouring across. That didn't work either, so I guess we're going to have to play the level the way it was intended. Okay, so before we go in that thing, you can see a little bit further around the back this central island. Yeah, I guess you'd call it an island. It's being held up by these arches. Looks like I'm going to have to go around. Okay, back into the nice warmth again. Beautiful sun motif. don't know what some of this stuff is. Maybe they're supposed to be candles.
Engage or outwit the skill shrine's guardians.
Okay.
Lizard men, perceptive opponents, skilled in combat and magic. A mind crippler, potentially exploitable.
It's supposed to be very Dungeon Keeper. A mind crippler. So I'm guessing the mind crippler is that thing, and it's suggesting that it's useful. I've tried shooting it with arrows. That didn't do anything. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what we can do with it. It doesn't seem to attack you. I've run around underneath it. I've taken some screenshots of it. But when it's in that ball, it seems to be pretty inert. These crates, this is the first of those set pieces I was telling you about. So if you come and use gravitate here, these crates line up and they create a nice ledge here. But I've had so many problems with it. The problem being that if you grab the crates here, set them here, then as you move forward, the crates move away from you. And as you get to the edge, the crates are all bunched up over there and ping off. But if you try and disengage, then they just drop to their doom. So what we shall do is parkour. Right, so I'll show you how to use some of the magic and the weapons together. So I'll use repulse on this guy, but first parkour. So that looked better than that. So using the repulse to blow things off ledges is very hit and miss. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Let's see if I can set fire to these guys. Suck it. Flaming box 1, lizard guy now. What's this down here? Some kind of lever thing. Now, if playing 20 years of games has taught me nothing, it's taught me that a captive thing surrounded by guards and a lever is a surefire recipe for an instant ally. So let's go get it. Whoop. No, not me. Oh, no, it's down there. Thought I'd miscalculated quite badly there. I'm not sure what it's doing. Brilliant. He appears to be a giant brain on tentacles. I'm just going to stay out of the way and let him do his thing. So yeah, go on, giant brain guy. so we've got everything nice and slow. Yeah. Okay, now the question is, will this guy turn on me now? No, he's still going for those guys. Superb. Someone is still firing arrows at him there. Okay, so I need to get across that chasm, and I can't parkour this wall. So I'm going to have to build myself some stairs, I think. That was not the way to do it.
You've performed a feat.
Okay. Not sure what that... Ah! Don't shoot me. Hey. Please tell me that you're attacking someone over here. No, you do actually appear to be attacking me. Right, okay. I'm gonna have to run away, I think. Run away, run away, run away, run away. Okay, so I think his tolerance of me ran out. Okay, we're in the next bit, which appears to be running the gauntlet of this lot. Let's see what happens. That's running a bit quick. Let's see if we can slow it down. Yes. Let's get through there. Ah, I know where I am. There's that silver. I'm on the other side of the cavern from where I started. So I'm guessing that up there is one of the other ways that I could have got round here, possibly. Let's see. Let's see if I can get through here using the same trick.
Impressive. Which skills inspire you? Will you be a warrior who springs from the shadows? A rogue launching enchanted arrows? The options are endless. The choice is yours.
Okay.
What will you become?
What will I become? It's a good question. But I appear to have got to the silver thing, so I'm going to have a look over here and see what this is all about. I'm stuck in the scenery. That looks dangerous. Yeah, I'm guessing that this was the gauntlet I should have run if I'd gone down to the bottom and run up again. That looks tricky even with the slow, so I'm glad I didn't take that path. God. Okay. Let's go see what happens when we go claim the silver sapling. Beautiful. Loading.
Magnificent.
There we go. Appraisal capable. 50 raw. Oh, I don't know what that means. What's a raw memoir? I think I'm going to have to play this a little bit more and find out a bit more about what's going on. Yeah, so there you go. There's the alpha, pre-alpha of the Underworld Ascendant. Yeah, there's clearly a lot of work to be done, but for a pre-alpha demo, that's pretty damn good. That was there's certainly a lot in there. I think I'm going to have to go away and have a think about how I feel about it. I've backed it, and I know other side, and I've seen what they've done, and I have every confidence that they're going to make a fantastic game. Of course, the question is really going to be whether the game fits in with the Underworld, the Ultimate Underworld feel. But so far, the level design is fantastic. The sound seems to be pretty good. Voice acting seems to be humorous, bordering on Dungeon Keeper. Yeah, lovely. Seem to be able to do stuff. Okay, that's it. Okay, bye now.